one. In regards to that question, it kind of happened naturally and normally as everything does. We get a phone call. It's a question of whether or not they want me to go ahead and put myself to tape. And fortunately for me, I had Craig Zisk, who is our executive producer and director of Tulsa King season 2, reach out, and he was very hands-on with me from the beginning to the end. And just happy to have been, included in such an amazing franchise. And again, just grateful for the opportunity.
And Rich, in terms of Tulsa King, obviously Sylvester Stallone, an absolute icon. We all know him from Rambo, the Rocky movies as well. Tell me, turning up the first day on set of Tulsa King and meeting Sylvester Stallone, what was that like? And I suppose, how engrossed is Sly in terms of this project?
Well, first, I've been doing this for a second, this industry, this entertainment industry, so I don't typically get starstruck. However, when Sylvester Stallone walks on set and you see him in the flesh and bone in front of you, and you grew up as a kid watching the Rockies and the Rambo movies, the Demolition Mans, it is a bit surreal. He comes in with a halo of a glow and energy, and he is a tremendous human being. And I say that because not only is he a professional, from top to bottom, but he's a genius. He wears multiple hats on this show, as he does on all of his productions. He's a writer, he's a director, he's a producer, he's a editor. And just watching him migrate through every set and every scene, I can see him processing it literally as a writer and then as a producer, and then literally focused on how we're going to edit this all at the same time. And so he's extremely hands-on. He's the kind of actor and lead you would love and die to have as your number one on the show, just because, he is a leader. He's our general. That's what we call him in the show. He is truly a general in real life, and just a tremendous opportunity to be on set with him for the entire season.
And Rich, can you tell us a bit about your character, Jackie Ming? Just maybe a brief synopsis for our viewers or audience listeners to wondering, where does Jackie Ming fit in Tulsa King? Is he in the side of good or evil?
Sure. Well, first, I want to tell all the fans out there that Jackie Ming and the whole Chinese triad element to season 2 is inspired and based on true events that are currently actually happening in Tulsa, Oklahoma, ironically. So we're actually displaying kind of a quote unquote non-fictional with a fictional twist of things that are happening in real time in the US, in Oklahoma. Jackie Ming is a triad mafia boss from China. He has come to Tulsa due to his interest and monopoly over the marijuana weed business. And no spoilers yet, but he not only does weed and marijuana, but he may be cooking up some other things, as we will, reveal later in the season. But basically, what happens is, Tulsa King season 1, you see Sly kind of get kicked out of New York and relocate to Tulsa, and then he kind of starts establishing his presence there. Well, in season 2, he starts to find out that there's other big guys in town, so to speak, guys like Neil McDonough, who plays Cal Thresher. And that's where my character comes in, because Cal Thresher and Jackie Ming are already in a business contract and have been operating out of Oklahoma simultaneously that Sly has arrived in season 1. So as the season starts to unwind a little bit and unfold, you're going to start to see how both of those worlds, I wouldn't say collide, but how those worlds meet. And I think the viewers have been teased a little in the first 3 episodes that there might be a little friction coming up between Cal Thresher and Sly's character, with an X factor of Jackie Ming kind of creeping in this upcoming episode 4.
I'm just sort of curious, and the idea of being playing a triad sort of leader or mobster in. We always sort of see those places, Los Angeles, yes, New York, maybe, yes, Chicago, but Oklahoma, in terms of
Right.
it's a bit more central, it's a bit more typical, normal country life, America. How do you, sort of, as an actor, take your sort of surroundings and say that we can't make this too like New York style sort of acting? Or is there a typical element that you have to sort of bring with the background and the location in terms of playing same a bad guy, or is a triad member the same wherever he is, wherever in the world?
Well, what I do in every project I do is I bring truth, and honesty, because that's the foundation of at least where my acting stems from. And so knowing that, these characters really exist, especially on the Chinese side in real life, I've played these characters before in other shows and other films. So, I really try to come from a place of truth and honesty and accuracy. And just from my previous research on other characters, kind of within the same arena of, let's say, mafia bosses. And at the same time, I am playing a Chinese national. So I am speaking in accented English. I do carry myself physically, mentally, spiritually as someone from China. And, those are things I've picked up through, the fact that I am half Chinese through my own family, so I always say some of these characters, it's already in the DNA. I just got to let it come out. I'm fourth generation Asian American, so some of it's been lost, to be honest, throughout the generations. But I have the privilege of doing what I do and being able to basically go back in time and to pull these things from my culture, from my history, as well as marry them with present time realness, let's say.
Yeah, and Rich, final one on Tulsa King before we break off to other projects. And Rich, in terms of Tulsa King, in terms of this character, Jackie Ming, the arc, where can you see him possibly going? Is there so many elements to his character, so many layers that could be peeled off going forward? And are we just seeing the tip of the iceberg at the moment?
Oh, definitely. This is barely the tip of the iceberg. I know a lot of my fans and a lot of fans of Tulsa King have been eager to see what Jackie Ming is going to bring to this season. The creators purposely, limited my scenes in episodes 1 to 3 on purpose. I was even told a lot of scenes were pulled out of the original cut to keep it more of a mystery. Episode 3, you got a glimpse of me on my marijuana weed farm with Cal Thresher, Neil McDonough. And I can honestly say episode 4 is when everything kicks off for Jackie Ming. You're definitely going to meet him. You're definitely going to see a business side to him, as well as another side to him, without giving away spoilers. I would love to discuss the arc. I actually feel like I was in the fans' shoes at one point when Craig Zisk was telling me of my arc as Jackie, and just the buildup that he promised me, which he fulfilled. It was a lot of anxiety knowing that it was going to start off slow. So what I can tell the fans out there is just hold on. It is the tip of the iceberg. You have no idea what this Jackie Ming is capable of. All I would say is be prepared for anything, because it's gonna be a blast. Like, I can't wait. I mean, last week actually, I think we got a ton of press for the end of episode 3 as it being one of the most mafia gangsters ending in the history of television. If that was the reaction for episode 3, I can't wait for the reactions of episodes 4 to 10,
Yeah.
because we're just starting right now.
Exciting, exciting news ahead for all fans of Tulsa King. And Rich, I know 2024 is nearly coming to end, but I hear it's busy times for you in terms of 2024 and maybe the start of 2025. You're a busy man. Do you want to share a bit more where we might be seeing you in the near future?
Sure. Ironically, last year in actually 2024, 2023, the Screen Actors Guild had a strike. And so that kind of delayed a lot of production here in the US and elsewhere, obviously. But I was cast in 2023 for Dick Wolf's first ever streamer. It's called On Call. It's a collaboration of Universal and Amazon Prime. On Call will be premiering in January of 2025, and I play a Long Beach police officer. I am the team leader of the drug enforcement team. And the cool thing about this entire show is that not only is Dick Wolf known for the Law and Orders and Chicago shows, as well as Criminal Minds, FBI, we're his 10th show, his first ever streamer. And we're bringing back the half-hour drama. So you can binge the entire season in a couple hours once it drops in January. Um, can't really talk about anything more, but the fact is that it's an amazing crew. I've always dreamt of being in Dick Wolf's world, to be with people like Tim Walsh and Elliot Wolf as well. It's just really a dream come true. So We started in 2023, the strike happened, we finished it early 2024, and now Amazon has named us their biggest show going into 2025. And so there is a delay due to marketing and press purposes. But then this Tulsa King season 2 came up right before it. So it just was a great segment, to finish out 2024 and kind of segment into 2025 with On Call coming out in January.
And Rich, we're going to go back to Tulsa King to finish off. Final question for you, Rich Ting. For all the viewers, for all the fans listening in to Tulsa King and watching it on Paramount Plus here in Ireland and the UK. Rich Ting, what's in store for them going forward in season 4, in season 2, episode 4, going forward, episode 5, episode 6, and why should they keep tuning in each week? And what has Jackie Ming got to say?
Well, like I tell everyone, I always leave it up to the viewers. I never pressure friends or family to watch anything I do, but anyone that's not familiar with the show, I say, you know what? Watch season 1, episode 1. If you love it, continue. And what happens is usually 100% of people that I tell that to that haven't started it end up falling in love with season 1. And then I tell them season 2 is only be bigger, better, stronger, flashier, more violent. There's more blood. There's more storylines. You got Frank Grillo, myself, Neil McDonough, all coming in to just stir it up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's a difficult question to ask without giving out spoilers. I think, again, Jackie Ming is going to bring a certain mafia, ruthless, intimidating vibe that is going to be very unexpected to the viewers, especially having, like you said earlier, a Chinese national who is a mob boss in central US in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Jackie sticks out like a sore thumb, and he doesn't travel small. He's got his entire team there, his entire crew. You will start to see really soon in episode 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that he has a presence in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and the Chinese aren't going anywhere.